Today, we will be taking a look at the rest of the spirits that have been revealed for Red and Purple. Red got new Awaken support in El Diablord, which is immediately power crept by another card in the same set, Thunder Dragon Lord Rayblitz. It is a 5/3 Dragonoid with Awaken. At level 2, you draw a card when one of your spirits with Awaken is blocked. They just keep drip feeding all of this Awaken support, don't they? So does this make Awaken a viable strategy? Well, I do like that it does synergize with the X-Rare from set 2, and it also synergizes with a previous promo, Bogwo. Bogwo is kind of similar to Rayblitz in that instead of drawing you a card, it pops a Nexus. But the Awakened Spirit does have to destroy the blocking spirit in this case, whereas Rayblitz, it just needs to be blocked. Still, I imagine you would want to put these two cards together, as well as maybe the X-Rare Spirit. I think that if we keep getting these kind of effects for the Awakened strategy, where you just kind of keep stacking effects on top of each other, then I think we would have something interesting. Is it good enough as is? We'll see. And the contender for the cutest card of the set, Precious Cub Taiga, a 3/2 Emperor Beast that at level 2, if it attacks and you have an Ascend Spirit, you draw a card. I think how good this spirit is going to be dependent on the new Ascend support that we're going to get in the X-Rares, and if those can come out fast enough to take advantage of Taiga's draw effects. As is, it's fine, but I don't know if Red would want to play this over something like Bearded Eagle. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Edgehog is one of those cards that, in my opinion, is like bordering on the line of being good and not good enough. It's a 4/1 with the Wind Summoned effect, where you select an opponent's spirit with 3k or less and destroy it. If you really want to compare it to a good card, it's like a mini version of Andromeda. I'm inclined to think that Edgehog is not quite good enough, just because we have Ritual Fire in the game. It's difficult. Being able to hit 3k is not bad, but I have to imagine that in practice it's just not quite good enough. Moving on to Purple, and we start with a really interesting card, Dark Knight Percival. It is a 6/3 Shadow with the Wind Summon that if you use the Soul Core for its summoning cost, you can revive a purple spirit from the trash that costs 4 or less without paying the summoning cost. In my mind, the immediate comparison is to compare it to Reanimate. Reanimate was a card that saw some play, which makes me inclined to believe that Percival probably isn't good enough. I think if this was more aggressively statted, like if it was a 5 cost, then that would be interesting. But of course, the card that this is meant to be paired with is Warden Gargoyle. It's a 3/1 Shadow with the Wind Summon that if it was summoned from the trash, aka with Percival, remove 2 cores from one of your opponent's spirits. And then on top of that, if you use this as part of an Ascend cost, this Gargoyle can be treated as a 6-cost spirit. Now for that second effect, we'll have to wait and see for the purple X-Rare spirit that has Ascend. But I do think it's pretty funny that you can use this as the cost for Nova. But as for that first effect, it is definitely strong to remove 2 cores unconditionally from any spirit. But you have to summon it from the trash, which makes it awkward. I think personally I want to see even more powerful revival synergy before I can be more comfortable in saying that this kind of strategy is good. But the Gargoyle is definitely a step in the right direction for a revival strategy. Hakuja is a side grade to another Serpent Spirit in Bodis. Hakuja is also a 4/2 with Curse, but at level 2, when it's destroyed, instead of removing a core from your opponent's refreshed spirits, you get to remove a core from any spirit and if it destroys it, you draw a card. I mean, yeah, this is good. It's good for the Serpent strategy, that's for sure. Yeah, not much else to say. It's a decent card. Voidlord Corpse Morse Demon is a 4/3 undead with the when summoned that you can discard a Voidlord, a familiar, or undead spirit card from your hand to draw a card. And at level 2, it has Curse. Now, the popular cards from among those 3 spirit types basically amounts to Baculus, Curse Dragon, and Meduk. I do like that this card does synergize with the purple Voidlord, where you can just dump another Voidlord and then later on summon the purple Voidlord to revive the other one. I do think that's pretty cute. But yeah, this spirit is probably not good enough. Purple has way better wind summons than this. Darkness Count is a 4/2 Nightling. On your opponent's turn, if one of your cursed spirits is destroyed, you can remove a core from one of your opponent's spirits. And then at level 2, when it attacks, it does the Curse Dragon thing, where you select one of your opponent's spirits and remove all cores from it except for one. Is a mini Curse Dragon good? I don't know. It's really interesting to have that effect on a 4-cost spirit, and then have that synergize with other low-cost spirits that can remove those single cores from your opponent's spirits. And yes, of course, it is a 4-cost for Beldegor, which is always a plus. So yeah, I think this card is interesting. Wolf Knight Logar is a functional reprint of another curse spirit from the previous set. Like, literally. It has the exact same stats, and it is a Nightling. Moving on. Crowcat is a 2/1 Spirit Beast that has Immortal for costs 9 and 10. I imagine that the purple X-Rare spirits are probably going to be cost 9 or 10. So I will wait for the X-Rares before I give judgment on this cat. And then, of course, we have our vanilla double symbol purple spirit. That's also a 6/3, and it ascends off of cost 4 more spirits. I do think it's interesting that this one is a serpent specifically. Would this see play in the serpent deck? Probably not. The serpent deck really likes its spirits to have curse, which this one doesn't. But it's an interesting thought. I do like that it has that typing. Tune in next time when we take a look at the yellow spirits, as well as probably some of the green spirits. Laters.